And welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jay Vaz, and you're watching the Jay Vaz Show, Music and Entertainment. Got a special guest today from Pasadena, Texas. You guys been asking for it. We're making it happen. But before we get you there, make sure you follow us on all the social media pages at the Jay Vaz Show. Check out the website, thejvazshow.com, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Jay Vaz Show. If you're an independent or an up-and-coming artist, submit your music to artists at thejvazshow.com. All of the links are on the description of the podcast. And let's get right into this. Joining us today, like we said, Pasadena, Texas.
What's the deal, man?
You guys been asking for it, and we're finally making it happen. Sin, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, first I want to say thank you for having me here. Like I was telling you behind the scenes, man, this is my first stop for this year for my press run that I've never done a press run before, but this is like my first stop. So I'm letting you know as a man of my word, when anything starts to go good for me, this is going to be my first stop every time.
I appreciate that, man.
I really appreciate
doors
it,
are always open. Like I said, it was just a scheduling thing, but we're making it happen now. We've been wanting to have you on. We chopped it up, I think, the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We slightly talked about having you on, and we were barely moving in here, so that's why it was kind of taking a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But now that we're settled in for the most part, you guys can't see it, but you can. This wall's still white. We still haven't set everything up, but
it's getting there. It's getting there.
But we getting there, man. So yeah, man. We appreciate your time. Appreciate you making time for us today.
Yeah, man. I thank you for having me here.
So shit, let's get right into it, man. You're from Pasadena, Texas. That's where you're from. That's where you were raised, or?
Yeah, well, man, I was born in Houston, but that's where my family was living in Pasadena. So I was born in Houston, brought to Pasadena, and I grew up there. The land of no heroes.
See, why is it called the land of no heroes?
I call it the land of no heroes because we don't really have nobody there that's really made it anywhere. Like in Houston, you got Zero, you got Trey. I mean, the list goes on. But in Pasadena, we have a handful of people that made noise, but no one really got to that point where it's like people know about Pasadena. When they think of Pasadena, the first thing they think about is Urban Cowboy.
Yeah.
And that's a movie from like the 80s or some shit, But man, when I grew up there, it was nothing but gang banging, like that was a city. That's why I call it the land of no heroes, because we don't have nobody that really did anything that can inspire the youngins coming up to make them say, hey, look, this guy came from where I came from, and he made it. He did something, We have a handful of people that did something, but not to where it's recognized,
Yeah.
So that's why I say that.
And I was about to ask you, because, we've had like two people so far, and then you obviously from Pasadena. And, I'm not too familiar with Houston, period. But every time I ask them, what's the difference between Houston and Pasadena? They're like, it's still Houston. But now that you say, like, no, not really. Like, we're still our own entity, basically.
Yeah, it's real complicated. Like, in Pasadena, we show a lot of love to Houston. We look at Houston pretty much like the big brother. And Pasadena is like the little brother that's kind of like there, but you still have to do certain things to get the recognition from Houston,
Yeah.
So that's why it's like that.
So, since you just touched on not really having heroes or people to look up to, who were you influenced by when you got started, since you were basically raised in Pasadena?
Man, I was listening, like the first rap song that I ever really remember hearing was Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby, and that was from MTV, turning on the TV, coming home from school. My mom, I came home from school, I'm pouring cereal, and she's watching some kind of like novella or something, and she tells me I could change the TV, and I remember changing it, and that's the first song that I ever seen. Before that, all I knew was Spanish music and country music. I was a little kid, so I wasn't really into the music. But when I heard Tupac, I was like, man, that's badass. That's something I wish I could do. And as I got older, I just got more into all the rap music that was being played at that time. But once I got to like 6th grade, 7th grade, that's whenever I was really hearing about like SUC, Dope House, and everything. Me and my brother used to fight for a DJ Screw CD that he had. So it was just like, I grew up pretty much off everything that was already out there. Biggie, Tupac, all the big artists of that time. But like home, I would say like SPM was the first person where I was like, pretty much like 6th grade, 7th grade, and I was like, man, this is badass. Like we got a Mexican rapper. Like of course, like I love Tupac, Biggie, Big Pun, like everyone you could think of, but just knowing somebody that's like me, a Mexican, like from here, it was just like, damn, like if I ever do this music, that's who I look up to,
Yeah. Shit, I just became your #1 fan just because your story alone. You basically told how I got into music, basically. Being a kid, listening to Spanish music, like you said, Los Temerarios, Tigres del Norte, shit like that.
Yeah, hey, that's my dad, man. Like I'm driving around with my dad, and that's all he's playing with the music all the way up. Nothing but Spanish music. So of course you're gonna like what your dad likes. But it was different connecting to something like Tupac. Like.
So as far as that's when you got introduced to hip hop, with Tupac. But when did you started to want to make music? At what point you were like, you know what, this is something I want to do, something I want to pursue, and actually got started?
Yeah, man, I was like, I want to say I was like 15, and at the time, like I was going through some like, well, my family was going through some real shit. Like my mom, certain things happen. I come from a broken home, so my parents were like off and on most of my life, my childhood. So around 15, some shit happened. My mom, she ends up getting locked up. She does some time, and while she's there, me, I'm the oldest brother of four. So the house was pretty much my house. My dad, he worked a lot and he would just tell me all the time, look, you can have your friends over, y'all can do whatever y'all want. Just don't get in no trouble and make sure you look after your brother and your sisters. So me, I was the big brother that's like, I don't want to run the streets right now. I don't want to do nothing. I got to stay home and take care of my family. So all my friends from the neighborhood, I come from a neighborhood called Red Bluff Terrace, and there it's like growing up, it was real tight. Everyone in the neighborhood, you couldn't be from a different neighborhood and come and hang out with us. You had to be from our neighborhood. So everyone in my neighborhood came to my house because they knew, hey, this guy got the house to himself. We pretty much would have like house parties, and just a bunch of people were always at our house. But one day, my boy Rigo, he comes over and he's just like real into wanting to freestyle for some reason. And at this time, man, like I wasn't trying to rap. I was like pretty much pissed off, wanting to fight every day. That's all I wanted to do, like to take my anger out. But when he came, we would smoke a lot of bud. And he came one day, he's like, we had this karaoke machine that belonged to my little sister. And we just had regular music. We didn't even have beats. We were playing like Bone Thugs and like just normal songs. He picks up the mic, starts rapping. We're all smoking in there, and he starts getting all of the homeboys that are in there to pick up the mic and rap. And he tells me, "You're gonna rap after this person raps." And I'm like, "Fuck no, I'm not rapping. I don't do that shit." Like I really was talking some shit because I
Yeah,
I was more embarrassed. Like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say on the mic? But after I smoked enough, and the beats just hitting me, I'm like, man, okay, I'm gonna try something. I started rapping, but at the time I was real into Bone Thugs, so I was doing a fast flow. Everybody was doing what you would say like the screwed up click kind of flow,
yeah,
kind of to the beat, just chill. Me, I was like just rapping fast. And when I seen the reaction to all my homeboys, that's what was like, oh shit, maybe I can do this, maybe I can rap. So from that point, it was just like every day, all my boys in the neighborhood would come to my house, and we just started getting to like forming a little group and just rapping. We started getting instrumentals off the internet. At the time, it was like LimeWire or some shit.
yeah,
You download the beats from there. We got our first handful of beats, and from there, I just started. I didn't even know how to write songs. I used to write like if you look at a piece of paper, you have the margins. I used to write all the way to the end, and then the next, like the whole page was
yeah,
full. And every time I would try to rap, I couldn't do it because it was just too much shit. But that's pretty much how I got started, just having fun with my friends, like smoking bud and just playing music. Just
yeah,
that's how the rapping came. It wasn't nothing like one day I just woke up, hey, I want to rap. It was pretty much pushed on me. And every now and then, I don't see him all the time, but when I see him, he's always like tripping out. Like, damn, you out of everybody, the person that didn't want to
that
fucking
didn't want to
rap.
do it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
What was your first song ever recorded? Like an actual, not professional studio, but your first song that you actually recorded, and you were like, all right, this,
Yeah, I remember that. It was at that time too. I was 15, and it was pretty much like the second or third day. Once we got the instrumentals, the first instrumental I ever recorded on was "I Got Five on It" by the Loonies, and I made like three different songs. I had a song for my mom, I had a smoking song, and I had some other song that was just like some other shit. But
yeah,
that was my favorite instrumental. The beat is just like real laid back and chill, but you can go at it so many different ways. That was the first song that I remember ever writing. The first song that I wrote actually was for my mom, and then I wrote like a smoking song. It was kind of like a five on it remix, but my version.
yeah,
And that was my first song ever. But from there, I started getting other instrumentals. Like I remember uh, Scarface and Tupac, that instrumental. I can't remember the name right now. Smile. That was another instrumental. Fat Joe, My Lifestyle. That instrumental I wrote songs on. But from that point, I was writing songs, but I didn't really have the experience of how to actually write the song the right way. Cause like I said, I was filling up the margins all the way. It wasn't nothing like professional. Like right
yeah,
now, I got it down. I don't even write nothing. I listen to the beat for a while, and then the words just come to me because I've been doing this for so long. I
yeah,
was 15. I'm 32 right now, about to be 33. So all these years of me doing that, like I don't know. I feel kind of like it got so easy to me that I can just the words come out without
yeah.
me having to force anything. But yeah, man, I was 15 when I wrote my
Hey,
first
what's up,
song.
guys? Jay Bass from the Jay Bass Show. Just want to let you guys know the BU shirts are now available for pre-order. You can find the link to place your order on the description of the video, and we also have the pins and the stickers that you can purchase as well. So once again, the link is on the description of the video. I hope you guys keep enjoying the interview. So, being that it's been what 15, 17 years.
Yeah.
How do you feel you've improved as an artist? You know, besides the writing part, how do you feel you've gotten better since then?
Man, I would say in every way. Like at first, we were rapping over other people's beats, and I started wanting to learn how to make beats because I got tired of us. Everybody in my side of town, that people used to, everybody just started rapping out of nowhere. There was groups, people were putting out mixtapes and stuff, and I got tired of getting the mixtape from someone else and seeing they use every beat that we used.
Yeah,
So it was almost like, damn, there's really no creativity whenever you're using the same thing everybody else is using. I started making beats because of that. So that's one thing I would say. Me making my own beats, writing, like the format, it got easy, but I learned the actual writing format from another cat when I was 16. Me and my brother, we got our first like independent, I guess you could say like our first indie record deal. We got signed by another cat that was like 21 years old. I was 16, he was like 14. And we went to Corpus Christi for the summer because my mom was living there. And we met this cat named John Chris, aka Pop, and he was like had his own record label. This guy knew everything about independence. Like he would make his press up his own mixtapes, record everything in his closet, do everything the right way, and then he'd go to the flea markets and he would sell his CDs to these like these people that were selling CDs. He would sell his CDs like if he was a big rapper. He showed me and my brother how to write the rhymes the right way, how to record. Because before we had one mic and you have 10 people around, you're trying to record your part and you're trying to pass the mic. So while you're still spitting your shit before they get
before
it,
that, yeah,
And it was a real big. It was kind of hard to do that. But when we went to this guy, man, he was one person at a time in the booth. He showed us how to double up on the recording. He showed us how to do everything the professional way. So that really helped me out, and that was the main thing that pushed me to learn how to get better
yeah,
with my writing, with my recording, and then my beat making. And I learned how to make beats from being in his studio. He had me and my brother actually writing rhymes to a song, but the software he had, it like had these little setups on the bottom where you can mess with the beats. And I remember I just started messing with the beats. He comes in and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be writing rhymes." And me and my brother were just like, I didn't even know what to say because I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be writing rhymes. I shouldn't be messing with this shit. But from that point, it was like, I want to learn how to make the beats. And then once I told him, he told me the program, where to buy it at. And I just spent every day from that point messing with it to learn how to make beats. And I got it down because like I said, I wanted us to have original beats.
yeah.
So it was just my beats, my songwriting, the production, and learning how to be professional as an independent artist. Like those are the main things I would say that what I
You've
improved
improved.
on. Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, your style. I feel like it's and I've had like 2 or 3 people that I've had on here, and I've told them the same thing. As far as obviously you're from the Houston area, but your music doesn't sound like a Houston artist,
Yeah, I
and
get that a lot.
I mean that in a good way. Simply, for example, what I was just telling you, like on your tracks, it don't matter what track it is, whether it's the one that we're going to talk about here in a second, Cormigo. You had, I think, one's called "Kicking Back."
Oh yeah.
Whatever track it is, it's like a story. You're telling a story on every verse. You're not just, you know, rambling off about other stuff.
Yeah.
Um, how would you describe your style?
Man, that's a good question. But I would have to say, really, I think it has a lot to do with the rappers that I was really influenced from the beginning. Because I was, like I said, Tupac was one of them. But then it was Biggie, it was Nas. Big Pun was like one of my favorites when I was in 6th grade, just because he had the "I don't want to be a player no more."
Yeah,
But because of that, all the rappers at the time when I grew up, you had to rap. You couldn't mumble. You couldn't just get on the mic and say some bullshit. You had to have something. But all my favorite rappers were storytellers. And what I liked was, even though they weren't my ethnicity, the stories they were telling, I really connected to. So I always said, once I started rapping, that was the main thing I wanted to do. I wanted someone to hear it and say, "Oh man, I like this." Yeah, I'm not going through that, but I could feel what he's saying.
yeah,
Like it's more about, I guess, storytelling. Like I love telling stories, but all the stories are about my life. Whether it's kicking back, that's a smoking song. That's for people that like to smoke bud. But that in every way, anytime I make a song, like I always want to tell a story. I always want to say something. I don't want to just get on there and just say a
yeah,
bunch of words that rhyme.
yeah. Um, do you, well, obviously it sets you apart from people, but do you feel, because we talked about this earlier too, the love that you get from people, man, it's crazy to me. It's
Hey,
we
it's
like I
crazy
said,
to me too, man. Like I'm telling you, it's crazy to me too. I still trip out every day.
yeah. Do you feel like the fact that you tell a story that's helping you get like these loyal fans that, because like I said, I've had people message me talking about, hey, when is this interview gonna happen? Hey, are you gonna interview him? And you
Yeah,
know, when we had that post, when I said, hey, bro, I'd like to have you on,
yeah,
people were just commenting on there like, hey, this would be cool, this would be cool. I
yeah.
like, this is dope, man. Like as an artist, I feel like that feels dope. How do you feel about the love that you get from the people?
Man, I really I always appreciate the love. Like even from the beginning, like I feel like I really started making my mark in 2006 on my side of town because there was a lot of people rapping, but when we put our shit out, everybody just started coming to us, and that was the main thing they would say is y'all storytelling. It wasn't just me. Like I had a group of boys that are still in my music circle, but they're not rapping as much no more. I'm pretty much the front guy, but it was always like when we got on the mic, man, we wanted to tell stories and we wanted to get that love to where the music connects to the people to where they show the love, where it's not just like, oh, he raps too, like,
Yeah,
but the love I really feel it comes because I've stayed consistent since 2006. I didn't. I'm not gonna say I never blew up, but I always made enough noise to where when I put music out, if it was CDs, if it was MP3, whatever I put on to get people to get it, they'll meet me to get the CD. If I tell them right now, hey, I got some new CDs, they're gonna be blowing me up to meet me. Like.
yeah,
But I think a lot of the love comes from just staying consistent and always having music that means something.
yeah.
But I
Um,
get that a lot too. Like I just the same thing. My boy, like shout out to my boy Eternal, man. Like he's one of the people that I was doing music with in 2009, and I had got locked up. I was fighting the case. I was on probation. I did some stupid shit. Got an evading arrest charge. They were trying to lock me up. But he's somebody that came to see me in jail, and he was like, "Man, I don't give a fuck. If you're in here, you left enough music. I'm gonna make sure people hear it."
yeah,
So to this day, that's why like he told me, "Hey, man, I hit up homeboy, and he's probably gonna hit you up." And that means a lot to me, because man, like I'm really on. I'm not gonna say I'm on my own, but I'm on my own. Like I have a circle of people that I work with, like my brother, and a handful of people. But as far as like having any big names, I've never had no big names to push me. So that's why I say I'm on my own because I don't have no what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have nobody giving me a cosign to say,
yeah.
hey, listen to this guy. I'm pretty much coming to you and saying, look, I make music. Just give me a shot, listen to it, and if you hear something you like, I would appreciate it if you would just let it be known, like. So I think a lot of it comes because of that.
See, and I'm glad you said about the love of music, because this is something we're talking about. You produce music, you're an artist. Um, what all do you do as an artist, as far as music production and things of that nature?
Well, really, like I would even include that my music production company is actually a legit company in Texas. Like it's Instrumental Productions LLC. You have to go through Texas to get that. And that cost me some money to do that, but it's legit, because that's how serious I take my music. Like I want to be taken serious, and since I don't have no cosigns, I have to show I'm serious. So I put all my money into this, like any dollar I make, it goes straight to my music.
Yeah,
But I make my beats. I'm pretty much I started my music production company. I signed, which is Instrumental Productions, but I signed Sin Perez, which is me, as my artist. So I make my beats, I record, I sometimes shoot the music videos, but to a certain extent, because like I said, I let my brother Jay die. He does all my videos. No one ever touches my videos. When it comes to
yeah,
videos, he's the only person that's ever gonna do videos for me because he sees my vision every time, and he's been there from the beginning. That's my little brother,
yeah,
so he knows. Man, we bumped heads before because I'm like, I want to do this on the video. He's like, nah, that's not gonna work, and I'm like, nah, it's gonna work, But that's just how it is, But we make the beats, we rap, record, we do everything, the promotion, like everything is pretty much whatever has to be done to get done music wise. That's what I do.
yeah,
If I got to be my biggest promoter and I got to be my biggest fan, I'm gonna do that, But eventually, people will catch on, and that's what I see right now.
yeah.
I was pushing myself for the longest, and I wasn't getting no kind of support. And then just out of nowhere, it just people started seeing, look, this is somebody that's on the underground, but man, he's been dropping music after music.
Uh, you mentioned 2006 being the year for you that you started taking music more serious. But at what point in your career was it then you were like, okay, this is really going to work for me? Like this is, I'm going somewhere with this now. At what point in your career was that?
Man, I would say in 2015 when I started my music production company. Once I did that and everybody seen that I got the actual I forgot what it's called, but it's like the paperwork from Texas, and it has like a stamp and everything saying it's official. I put that and everyone just right away seeing like, man, this guy ain't stopping. Like I went from doing mixtapes to doing original music and putting it out on all platforms. On 2015, I put out my first album called From Nothing, and that's the album that went on like Spotify, Apple, Tidal, and all that. When everybody seen that, the first thing they thought was I got signed. They didn't know I did it on my own,
Yeah.
until I had to let them know, nah, I'm not signed to no label. I started a label and I signed myself. So when they seen all the business mind that I have, right away, that's when they started taking me serious, and that's when I feel like I really took it serious in 2015 because I was like, I had some money, and I ain't gonna lie, man. When I got that money, I was like, I'm gonna go buy some bricks and I'm gonna do some shit in the street.
Yeah.
But then the other side of me was saying, man, you got all this talent, just buy some equipment, start your music production company like you've been wanting to do, and just go all in. So that's what I did. And from
Yeah.
that point, that's whenever every I feel like I really got taken serious, And from that point, I've watched from 2015 up to now 2020. I've seen a big difference in my support, my streams. Like every day, my shit is streaming, like, and it trips me out when like because I don't check it every day. I check it like every Monday. I check my streams for the week, and every Monday it has just been 5,000 more. Like I
Yeah.
remember I was only getting 50 streams, and it went from 50 to like 500, from 500 to 5,000, and like right now it's just like every day we're pushing what you want to say like 16,000 maybe like okay 60,000 views every 2 days. So that's a big difference going from 50 streams to 60,000.
Big
Like a
fucking
big
difference,
fucking
bro. Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
So I just
Um,
feel like they take me more serious now because they see like before I was a knucklehead. Like in my side of town, people can tell you like somebody says something bad about me, I was pulling up looking for a fight. Now it's just like people say things I don't even care, because I'm about my
it's
music. Like
irrelevant.
I'm
Yeah.
a
Now.
family man. Like I got 3 beautiful kids that I love. So I spend all my time with them. Once they go to sleep, I have a house. So once they go to sleep, my studio's upstairs. When they're asleep, that's whenever I go upstairs and I start making my music. All my music is usually recorded at nighttime.
Yeah.
So, I do my family thing first and then I go and take care of my music, but that's why I feel like I'm getting blessed because I take care of my kids.
Yeah. So when I first was introduced to, I think I was already following you, and I had listened to some of your music, but I how do you say this? Like I didn't have a face to the voice, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but when I finally put a face to your voice, was I did an interview with Shadow, and Shadow gave
Yeah.
you a
Shout out
shout
to
out on
Shoutout,
there,
man.
and just the fact that somebody like Shadow gave you a shout out, what was that feeling like?
Man, to me that was a badass feeling, and I was caught off guard with that because like I was seeing all the little clips you were putting. Like me, like I pay a lot of respect to all the OGs. I don't look at them like oh they're old and washed up. Fuck no, man. Like just because you get older in age don't mean you don't still have the talent. This rap shit is all in your mind. All you're doing is rhyming words, or if you're making beats, you're using your hands and you're using the creativity that you have in your head. But me, I remember I was just chilling at home, and another again, shout out to my boy Eternal, Eric. He sent me this message. Hey, check out what Shadow says about you on this interview at this time. I think it was like a 10-minute point or
Yeah.
something. And me, I'm just like, I'm thinking he sends it to the wrong person or something, and I don't remember what the hell I was doing, but I open up the message. I'm like, oh shit, he's meaning it towards me, and I click on the interview and I start watching. I hear my name and I'm like trying to rewind real quick, like, hold up,
Hold on,
is
man.
he talking about me? Like, and then I started seeing it and I realized what he was talking about, like, yeah, that was a big thing. Shout out to Shadow, the OG, man. Like, I really appreciate that. That shit meant a lot to me, because just posting that little clip made everybody say, damn, if he's showing him, that type of love, this dude must have something,
Yeah.
And but I remember my boy when he told me that, I was really caught off guard, but it meant a lot to me, because that's somebody that I respect as a producer, like put the rapping shit aside and just from a producer to a producer, that meant a lot to me, because that's the first person that actually acknowledged me as a producer. But what people don't know is Lucky Luciano used a beat of mine that I produced years back, and it's like a big, it's doing pretty fucking good. I don't remember the name right now. I would have to look it up again, but he was like the first person to use it. But when Homeboy told me that and I seen that, it really like it inspired me. Like man, I know if I caught his attention, like I know I could do something. But
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing, because like that beat that he's talking about was made for another artist named Chinto from East End Empire.
Yeah.
And that beat I actually made for him like 2 or 3 years ago. And what he told me, he hit me up because he knew me as a producer from another homeboy named Young Rex. But he hit me up saying, "Hey, I'm looking for some beats, and other people that I hit up are charging me too much. What's up? And I was like, man, I got something. What are you looking for?" And he told me, "You know about Aggravated?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I know about
Hell
Aggravated."
yeah.
Like he's like, "Aggravated and Most Hated." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I know about them. Why? What's up?" He's like, "I want some beat. I want a beat that sounds like from that time. I guess you would say like early '90s hip hop, like
Yeah.
Houston hip hop." So I'm like, man, I've already been listening to her music, but let me go back and listen again so I can, cause see me, I can recreate anything. If somebody tells me they want a beat of today's time, I can make it. If they want an old school beat, I can make it. Like there's nothing I can't make. So I go through their catalog right away. I'm like, man, by tonight I'm gonna have you something. I go and I make the beat, and right away he's like, "Hey man, I like it." And he had the beat for a little while. I want to say for like a year, and then he just started out of nowhere, started telling me, "Hey, I got this person from Aggravated on it, and he's gonna try to get this person." And next thing I know, it was just like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
He got one to where he got this one and this one and this one and this one. When it finally got to Shadow, he hits me up and he tells me, "Hey, Shadow loves the beat, but the only thing is when it comes to their music, he likes to be in charge of making the beat. He wants to know if you're okay with him, rearranging it and adding different sounds." And me right away, like I said, man, I was just like, man, hell yeah, do that. To me, that's something that's like a big deal. Like somebody like Shadow to even hear the song and say, "Man, I love this beat," but I have to do certain things to it. Like I don't look at it like, "Oh hell no, that's my beat. You got to leave
Yeah.
it like that." Nah, man. Like to me, that was like a big deal. Like and it still is. So shout out to Shadow. I really appreciate that, man.
And everything you just said about feeling that way about Shadow, I feel the same way when I interviewed him. It was pretty dope as a fan. Growing up listening to their
Yeah, man. I
production
watched that. I watched the
and
whole thing from beginning to end.
to see how cool of a dude he really is like this is fucking dope, man. So he gave a shout out to you and I remember when you posted the clip, I was like, I need to bring you in here, man. And it took a while, but shit, here we are today,
Yeah,
man.
man. It's still perfect timing, man.
Uh,
Perfect timing.
let's talk about you. You just recently put a single out, and we are just talking about this. And like I said, I checked your numbers earlier in the week, and I think you were like at fuck earlier in the week. I checked it before we came because I wanted to update the numbers. It was like at 370,000
Yep.
is where you was at. So, Cormigo is the name of the single.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that single, how it came about, and just how it feels for it to be doing that fucking good, man.
Yeah. Well, look, first, just to talk about how good it's doing, like, man, every day I wake up and I'm just like, I can't believe this. Like, I've been working on this music since I was 15, man, and like, I've done so much. I've been through so much from the times that I was just going through life problems, being in and out of jail, and just I had all kinds of crazy shit going on. But no matter what, I never stopped the music. But with the Conmigo song, that song is just like a blessing to me, and it's crazy because like me, like I already had somebody tell me that I sold out because I was a rapper's rapper. What kind of shit is that? Like I used to be so. I mean, I'm still very serious about my lyrics, but I just wanted to make something that felt good, that felt different because like I come from a Mexican family, so
Yeah.
they hear rap music, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to hear that shit." But when they heard this, man, they loved it. Like it was just way different. But that song was actually recorded right when I started my music production company. I've been having that song for 5 years, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I was just like, how are people going to take this? Hearing a lyrical rapper do something like this. But that song was actually the first time it was recorded. It was actually me singing on the hook, but in English. But I was just
Gotcha.
like, man, this sounds good. I already had the verses recorded. I was like, this sounds good, but man, I need something like in Spanish. And there's an artist who's on the song named Rainum, and I've been knowing this young talented guy for some years. Like we did music, for some years already. But I hit him up and I tell him, "Hey, I got this song. I think I need you to hear it. I think you can come up with something to it." So he comes over, and during that day, like me, whenever I have studio sessions, I usually have like 2 or 3 sessions in the same day.
Yeah.
So I could be recording with you. As soon as we finish that song, I could be recording with him. As soon as we're done, I could be recording with the next person. Well, I just finished recording a song called "Kicking Back" featuring my boy So Loco.
Shout out to So Local,
Yeah,
man.
so I had recorded the other song. Homeboy Random came in, and I showed him the song. And at the time, like we were smoking some bud or whatever. But he comes and he hears the beat. Right when he hears it, he just starts like at the beginning. If you hear the song, he's like doing some like singing. Not saying any words. He's just like singing. He did that like right on the spot. And the way I knew that this song was special, one of my closest homeboys, as a brother to me, he's white, But he grew up with me since we were in second grade. All he knows is Mexicans. You know, like he didn't hang out with no white kids. He hung
Yeah.
out with nothing but he was the Miklo. He was the Miklo of our circle, straight up.
Yeah.
You know, but while we're getting ready to record this, he looks at me and he's like, homeboy's just singing the hook, but in Spanish, like he freestyled it. Rainham, he did that off the top of his head, nothing written down. He heard the beat right away. He loved it so much. He just started singing on the spot. He's hitting the blunt, starts singing on the spot. My boy looks at me. His name's Bud. He looks at me. He's like, "Hey, bro, what is he saying?" I tell him what he's saying. He's like, "Man, that shit sounds so badass. He needs to record it right now." He gets on the mic, records it. As soon as it's done, this guy was trying to sing the words, you know, and he don't know Spanish like that, you know, but he just kept telling me, "Man, you got to do something with this. This is special right here. You got to do something with this." So fast forward to now to see it, I keep reminding him, "Hey, you were there when this happened," you know. But that song, I sat on it for a while. After it was done, every time I played it, I knew it was special. I would hear it and I would just get this feeling like, "Man, this is the one. This is the one." But what do I do with it? I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
People hear this, they're not gonna take me serious because they're gonna be like exactly what I said. You know, I already had somebody tell me I sold out, you know, for making a song that feels good. But I was sitting on it for so long, I just was like, what am I gonna do with it? Once it was finally done, my brother, he hit me up like months back, "You gotta put this song out." He told me straight up, "I'm gonna put the money behind it to get it mixed and mastered, and we're gonna get it done the right way." So it was because my brother Jay died that the song is out
Yeah.
right now. But we went and we got it mixed and mastered. Once it was mixed and mastered and I heard how good it was, I just knew like, man, this is different. This is different, you know? And what's funny is that song was supposed to be on my second album, which is called The Moonchild. But when I had the playlist done, it's like 16 songs. When I had the playlist done, I didn't know where to put it. Because all the songs, like, I brought you a copy, but all the songs on there, I just felt like it wouldn't fit the playlist. When you hear it, you'll see why.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do with it, so I sat on it. And then like 6 months back, my computer messed up and I lost everything,
Ah.
everything I had on there. And I forgot that like a month before that, he came and he got the song from me and put it on an external hard drive because he was gonna mix and master it. But I thought I lost it. And after that, I was sad because I'm like, man, I started remembering every song I had on there and how I lost. I told him, man, we lost. At the time, the song was called Senorita, but Puffy has a song with that title.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can't name it that, you know. But I was just like, man, we lost that song, you know. And he was like, no, I got it on my hard drive. So it was like meant to be. Like
Yeah.
that song was meant to be. Like that's all I can say. It was meant to be, man. You know, like from sitting on it, not knowing what to do with it, and then thinking I lost it, but he actually still had it. We went and got it mixed and mastered, put it out, you know, and it just in the first like 2 days we were already like at 10K, and I couldn't believe that shit, you know, and it was just like nonstop to this day, you know,
Man, that
like
shit is blowing
it's been
up,
out
man.
for pretty much like a month now. But the actual lyric video is what made people really, I think, pay more attention
Yeah.
because they could see the words, you know, like it just I don't know, man, that song is just real special to me, you know, like I almost lost it, you know, and to know that I wouldn't really feel like people would be paying as much attention right now if it wasn't for that
Yeah.
song because it bridges Spanish and English together. You know, like me rapping in English, my boy singing in Spanish, you know, like it gets that crowd because I'm Mexican American.
Yeah.
You know, like I have Mexican family members and I have American family members. So we talk Spanish and English. You know, like all my family talks Spanish and English. Every single person talks Spanish and English. So to have this song do what it's doing right now, to me, it's just like, man, I bridged the gap, but not intentionally. It was just us making a good song together to see what we can do, you know, as artists. And to see it doing this right now, it just, I don't know, man, it's a blessing to me, you know?
You know, we're talking about the lyric video. Do you guys plan on putting together an actual music video for this track?
Yeah, we do, man. Like we're already in the talks, but we have a good little plan, you know, and I don't want to give up the plan, but the main goal to it is to get this lyric video at least to 1 million views, you know, and then so that way it's more worthy, you know, it's more
Yeah.
taken serious, you know. But like my main thing is like, you know, I had somebody tell me that I sold out because I was trying to sound like Baby Bash, you know, like I guess because he has the sugar, the what was the name of the song, the Soul Fly one,
So fly, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know,
Sugar, sugar.
yeah, sugar, there we go. But when they said that, uh, idea was sparked in my head. Man, if we do this video, I want to make a remix and actually have him featured on it.
Yeah.
So I started making like little posts here and there saying, should Baby Bash be featured on the remix? Man, I had over 300 people tell me yes. So I was like, man, you know, that's like one of the plans. You know, like when we get it there, when I feel like it's worthy to hit him up and say, hey, look, it's doing this. How much is it going to cost to get you on the remix? Because that's when I know when they see him on this, right away they're gonna say, "Hey, this is different." You know, like
Yeah.
you know, this is something good. You know, but we do have a video planned. But like I said, I wanted to get to a certain number first, so that way it's actually taken serious when we
Yeah.
actually release the video.
Aside from this single, do you have any other projects that you plan on backdooring after after
Yeah, man.
this single?
Yeah, I actually have like me. I record music every day. Well, at night, like I said, like once my kids are asleep, I spend my night in the studio. I don't really sleep much, but I spend my night in the studio. So right now, I'm actually working on my next album. I was saying it was gonna be my last album because I really felt at the time like this is it. I'm gonna give it all on this last album. But I don't know. I just got a whole new boost of energy. Like a whole new creative side of my mind. Where I'm like, I want to make this next album, but I have so many good ideas. So I'm actually in the process of recording this album. Like
Yeah,
I have about a good 15 songs done, but I like to record at least 30 songs and then pick the ones that I feel make the best playlist.
yeah.
Like that's my main thing. I record a lot of music, so I'm actually in the process of making the album.
And when can we expect for this album to?
Oh, it's gonna be out for sure. At least I would say in July. My birthday is July 3rd. So like me, I like to keep things real personal, real close to like what connects to me. Like my first two albums were put out on my dad's birthday, which is February. So those first two albums were on his birthday. This one, like I feel like, all right, I'm about to turn 33. If you look into the Bible, 33 is like a real special number. And like it just there's so many, not just the Bible, there's so many other things that the number 33 is like, a certain number. And I feel like it's connected to me, so I feel like on my 33rd birthday, that's when I want to put out that album.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be in July 3rd. It'll be done by then, and that's when I'm gonna release it. And it'll be on all platforms like the rest of my music.
yeah. Do you do any shows? Do you have any upcoming shows? Anything like that?
Yeah, man. I usually perform like every year. Like I always make it a point to at least perform 3 or 4 times. But I don't do it all the time. But when I do, I at least have 50, 60 people with me.
Yeah,
Like people are gonna go. Like, and I don't care if no one else that's there ain't there. I don't care if anyone else that's there ain't entertained. All I care about is the people that are there for me if they're entertained. But I have some shows lined up. But like I said, I'm like kind of picky right now. Like I don't want
yeah,
to just go up there and perform. And to a crowd that's not even there. Like that ain't even interested in watching that. Like me, whenever I go and do something, I make sure that the people that are there want to see that.
yeah,
But I do have some performances coming up, but it ain't nothing set in stone yet. It's just talks right now, pretty much.
yeah. Where can people find you in social media and your YouTube channel?
All right, on YouTube, you could just type in Sin Perez, and like all my videos will pop up. SINPEREZ, and then Instagram and Facebook is Sin Perez 87, and yeah, man, that's about it. I only really use Facebook and Instagram, and YouTube. That's about it.
Before we let you go, who are some of the artists you would like to work with?
Man, right now, I've been thinking about that question a lot lately, but like I said, Baby Bash, he's one of the people at the top because I would really like him on this remix. I would actually, as a producer, I would like to work with Shadow as a producer,
Yeah,
just to sit down and see what we make up, like what kind of beats we make together. But other than that, like I would love to work with Coast. He's somebody that I always, ever since I heard the song called Rock Bottom from Coast, like man, that song, like I was going through some real shit at that time, and when I heard that song, it just, I don't know, man, it kept me from feeling like anything from doing anything bad. It just
yeah,
made me think like, all right, I'm in this fucked up spot, but I'm gonna get out. Like Coast, like it's gonna get me out. But Coast is somebody, um, man, all right, like Big Pun's son, Chris Rivers. He's somebody, like he's from New York, but man, this dude's a lyrical beast. Like he's somebody I would like to work with. But as far as like rappers, me, I'm more of, I like to work with local and underground people. People that are like, I feel like they're more interested in making the music. I
yeah.
feel like popular people, they already have their name and they don't really care. It's about money. Me, I like to work with people that are still
They're gonna put a little
creating.
more effort
Yeah,
into the.
like I like to be with the people that are still trying to do something. And that's more important to me. But like outside of anybody famous, it's more of my circle, like So Loco, B Music, Dren, my boy Eternal. I just, like we've been doing a lot of music lately. My brother J Dot, my boy Dren. It's just like my handful of people is who I'm mainly focused on. But if anybody ever reaches out to me, like from the local area, like I'm quick to be like, let's do it. Like
Yeah,
I don't care. Like whatever we got to do, we're gonna do it. But like
yeah,
other than that, man, that's like the handful of people that I'm really really interested in working on music. I'm not saying like anybody else if I wouldn't want to work with them because I would, but right now I'm just more focused on like the people around me.
yeah. Well, shit, man. We hope your single keeps doing good. Hopefully, it reaches that number soon so that we can get the remix and get the
Yeah,
music video. Because I was checking it out, and in the music video, it'll be so fucking dope on it. Because again, your style telling the story. So on on that track,
yeah,
it gets I don't even know how to describe it. The fact that the Spanish and the English you don't see that in H-Town hip hop. You know what I mean? So to be
Yeah,
able to
that's what
hear
I've
it,
been told.
so to put a visual to it, that'll be fucking dope. And like I said, you know, we follow you, we keep up with your music, so the best of luck to you.
Hey, thanks, man. I really
And
appreciate
whenever
it.
you got to come through, promote some new projects, you let us know, and the doors are open, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, this is my first stop for 2020. So if anything, which I know something's gonna come, like something real good is gonna come to me. I just know it. But when it does, no matter what, man, this is always gonna be my first stop because that means a lot to me. You know, like I had a
Sure.
bunch of people telling me, "Hey, come here, come do this, come do that." But when it came time, man, I just always got left hanging. You know, like
Yeah.
and for you to actually, carry through with this, like it means a lot to me. You know.
Yeah.
So I just want to say I really appreciate it right here on the camera. I really appreciate this, man. It means a lot to me for somebody like me having to do pretty much everything on my own
Yeah.
outside of my circle, you know.
Yeah, we should appreciate your time, man. Once again, we appreciate your time. Glad we finally made it happen. So if you're watching this and you were one of the people that hit us up, here we are. We made it happen.
Yeah, thank y'all,
And
man, for
once
real.
again,
I
Sin Perez,
appreciate
ladies
that.
and gentlemen.
Peace. Appreciate it.